The Paratus Intervention. Chapter 9. The stairs walked right up through an empty doorway, directly into a wide open area. Entering the space, they stood before the long glass wall that split the room in two. The man on the other side called to them. "Larry?" he howled maniacally. "It's you! You found me! Oh, thank God, Larry, you're here!" "Marco?" "Yes, Larry! Please help me!" "Is that really you, Marco?" Oh God, you don't recognize me." "That ain't him?" Vance asked. "I see some of Marco there," Larry admitted. "But they've starved him, maybe? And Marco, you said, 'Oh God,' but you don't believe in God." "I didn't, Larry. I didn't, but do. I do now." Vance hesitated. "I'm gonna try to pull a download off this computer. You talk to your pal." "Who is treating you here? How long have they been missing?" "Not treating me. Not missing. Working on me. Larry, they do things to me. They make it worse every day. They I still remember you. You helped me. You didn't think you did, or not enough, or what, or something, but you did. Larry, there were times. There were times sometimes when I was better. You gave me that." "What do you mean worse?" Larry asked, activating the holographic access terminal built into the glass between them.
"Hungry now. So hungry. Worse than ever before."
Larry's hand hovered over the chamber's open button for a second, Vance's hand grasping it tightly at the wrist and pulling it back slowly. "Why don't you see if you can find out exactly what they did to the starving cannibal's mind before we release him into the room with us?" Vance invited. "Yes, Larry agreed, nervous laughter in his voice. "Prudent course of action."
"Where are you going?"
Marco hissed. Larry walked over to the room's lone computer console, taking note of Vance's portable hard drive and its download indicator, with 47% on screen, as Vance approached Marco at the glass wall. "I'm Larry's friend Vance. I know how he helped you, and if we can, we will definitely help you again."
"Oh, fix me, oh God, please fix me. I don't want to kill. I don't want to die."
Vance scowled, thinking, remembering, then spoke again. "Marco, I thought you did want to die rather than live like this." Marco perked up a bit, then a calmness washed over him. He suddenly displayed the most placid face Vance had seen on any man, ever. Marco answered.
"I didn't want to live. Didn't believe in God either. Now I do. Both."
"What changed your mind?" Vance asked. And he wasn't going to, curious though he was, except that Marco seemed calm. And that was a good thing, right? To keep him talking?
"Because they've been working,"
Marco replied, smiling.
"Working on me every day."
Vance stepped back, swearing in disgust. "The system just froze. I can't," Larry was saying, then paused, hearing the other conversation. "What?" Marco laughed and shouted, his voice almost hollow, clear as a bell. "Security override, Delta Epsilon 26440. The glass between them dropped away into a slot in the floor. "This is a pre-programmed message for Lawrence J. James," Marco shouted, in his new voice, barely recognizable as his own, supplying, "your gift to the world, our gift to you." "Programmed?" Larry repeated, confused. "Marco, what do you mean programmed?" "Larry," Vance called, backing toward him. "They've used intervention to make you worse, not better, don't you get it?"
"Oh, they've made me so much better. Oh, they've made me so much better,"
Marco roared, charging at them. Vance stepped in front of Larry and allowed Marco to run, full force, into his fist. He hit the cannibal along the jaw and partly in the throat. Marco reacted by grabbing Vance's outstretched arm with his left hand, his throat with his right, and bit down hard into the man's forearm. Vance howled in pain. Larry stepped around and tripped Marco, bringing all of them down, as Marco pulled Vance with him, and Vance's outstretched arm clotheslined Larry. They all flailed in a chaotic grapple until Larry grabbed around Marco's waist and pinned him. Vance began kicking his jaw, although his heel accidentally clobbered Larry atop the head a few times en route. Marco continued to attack, but jaw crushed and choking on his own blood, there wasn't much fight left in him. The other two men continued to try and subdue him, but he wouldn't quit. He wasn't much of a threat at that point. They would like to have questioned him, but he just thrashed, growled, and choked no matter what they did.
Don't he know his ass is kicked?
Vance shouted to Larry. Honestly? Larry looked to the both of them, Marco trying to escape Vance's rear naked choke. I don't think he does. Vance broke Marco's neck. Now what? Vance walked over to the computer, pulled their removable hard drive, for whatever it managed to get, and offered,
We go home, I guess.